WBNE.
Hello, and welcome to episode 58, all about Mount Doom, Chapter 3, Book 6 of Return of the King, being the 58th part of That's What I'm Talking About. Hello, my name is Mary Clay. If that's too complicated for you, just call me MC. And psych! Got you again. Why do you keep falling for that? It's Mary Clay from the future because this is a two-parter. That's right. It's a two-parter because I honestly, I didn't know how to do this chapter justice. A lot happens. It's a very monumental chapter. So I forced Cassandra and Norman to stay on for 2 hours so we could talk about it and all of my feelings because they were intense and elaborate. So this is part 2 of the conversation that we had. If you missed part 1, what are you doing? Go back and listen to it right now. And then come back here and listen to part 2 where, oh my God, it happened, y'all. It happened! But you have to listen to part 1 first. And then come back and find out how it happened. But I know you guys already know how it happened. I know I'm late to the game. So, all right, without further ado, part 2. I could have just said part 2. That rhymed. So they stop to rest, and Sam's at one point says, "I'll get there if I leave everything but my bones behind. And I'll carry Mr. Frodo up myself if it breaks my back and heart. So stop arguing." Oh, that's right. Sorry, I missed a point. Let me backtrack.
Yeah, Sam's debate with himself.
Yeah, he has like a full conversation with himself about like,
not a good sign.
This is hopeless. Yeah.
I took that to mean that it was like one last push from like the ring. Like on him.
Ooh,
maybe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can't tempt you with a garden. Can I make you feel despair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How wholesome is Sam, though? The only thing the ring can think to tempt him with is, you can turn this place into a garden.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Oh my gosh, Sam.
There's only 2 things that Sam loves. Gardens and Frodo.
And Frodo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this like part of him that was... Because when he briefly wore the ring, that part of him is trying to convince him that like, this is hopeless. You might as well stop. Like, you're never going to win or accomplish this or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And then this is when he says to himself, "I'll get there if I leave everything but my bones behind, and I'll carry Mr. Frodo myself if it breaks my back and heart. So stop arguing." And this is when I was freaking out again because... I've had a running theory since probably like the end of Two Towers, maybe even further back, that this like journey of the ring being destroyed was gonna end, and it was gonna be like the movie Holes, where Stanley carries Zero up the mountain because his family was cursed by Madame Zeroni.
I have no context for what you just said.
Dude, you need to watch that.
But it's fine. I will watch it eventually. We have a copy.
We literally just talked about this like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Holes is a fantastic movie. Oh my gosh, what a treasure. I low-key want to cover it on this podcast.
Well, clearly it takes inspiration from Lord of the Rings in at least one
Sigourney
regard.
Weaver is in that movie.
Yes. Okay, so Stanley, played by Shia LaBeouf, by the way.
Yeah.
Back when he was like in his Disney Channel years. Mm-hmm. His family has this, they say that like they've been cursed to be unlucky, and this goes back to his like great-great-great-great-grandfather or something, who was trying to marry this girl, and he went to go see this woman named Madame Zeroni, and Madame Zeroni gave him a pig and said, "You will carry the pig up the mountain, let the pig drink from this water and get strong, and you also will get strong. And then you will offer the pig to the girl's family, and she will marry you. And then, very important, you will come back and you will carry Madame Zeroni up the mountain so that I can drink from the water and I can grow strong and healthy too. Mm-hmm. And if you don't do this, your family will be cursed for all eternity." And he forgets to do this, and so his family is cursed. And then what happens is this other kid that Stanley meets at this like juvenile camp where they have to dig holes, which is for another side story that was about a hidden treasure that we're not going to get into. AKA the greatest love story ever told in like 5 minutes.
Right?
Of kissing Kate Barlow and Sam. I can fix that. Oh, Sam, what a good boy. much like this Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And Stanley's friend at this camp is actually a descendant of Madame Zeroni. And so at one point or another, his friend like passes out and he carries him to the top of this mountain and then like splashes water on him to wake him up, and like that's what breaks the curse.
It's so good. I know it sounds like it's really dumb, but like it's so good.
You know, I have been a fan of anime and really specifically One Piece for over a decade. Nothing sounds that dumb to me.
Okay, that's fair.
I promise.
It's much better than how I just described it. So, and like at the time when you're watching that, like when this first I remember this being this twist was like revolutionary, you know, when I was watching it as, you know, I don't know, a 10-year-old or however old I was, being like, oh my gosh, Zero is a descendant of Madame Zeroni, and Stanley carried him up the mountain, and oh my, that's good. I should say also that Holes is based on a book, so
yes,
I should probably read the book. That'll be the
oh my
spin-off.
God, the book is
that's
so
what I'm talking
good.
about. The spin-off podcast is going to be
Digging.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what I'm digging about. I don't know. Something about like are you
digging it?
Are you are you digging it? Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
A Holes podcast. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, a Holes podcast. Chapter by chapter discussion followed by a minute
good
episode
Lord.
recap of the movie. Okay, so Mount Doom. Yeah, so at this point I was freaking out. Right, that's how I got to that point. Is because Sam has made several references in the past couple chapters to like Frodo, I will carry you on my back if I have to. And I'm like, do it, because then I will be right. And that'll be glorious. And then very eerily, I love it. So they like kind of pass out one more time, and it says, the mountain too slept uneasily.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. So I love that like, okay, you can kind of feel that it's ramping up, and that like, you know, the Mount Doom feels like a sentient thing, and it knows what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And you also know what's coming. So the next day of their journey, Frodo, I think that, they get to the bottom of Mount Doom, and Frodo completely collapses. And this is when Sam picks him up and carries him on his back. And I screamed. Oh my God, is it happening? Oh my God, is it happening? Oh my God. Oh my God, Stanley's carrying Zero up the mountain. Oh my God, he's actually carrying him. I was right. Oh my God, I was right. Oh my God, I was right. I was right. Because I was like, I was right. This is glorious. I knew it! Oh my God. I was just so happy. Because I haven't seen any piece of Return of the King or anything like that. But for some reason, at one point, a couple months ago, I got this image in my head of Sam carrying Frodo. And it was the exact same image of Stanley carrying Zero. So
nice.
I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what he says. What a good friend, guys, right? Wow, best friends.
Just guys being pals.
Just guys being dudes.
Dudes. It's like when have either of you watched New Girl?
Some of it.
I think I've seen a single episode.
Okay, well, there's a character whose mom has been with a woman for like many, many years, and like he's a grown up, and it's not like they're it's not like it's a homophobic show or anything, or that like gay characters don't exist or whatever, but it's a big joke that he's like, my mom and her friend Susan, and they're like Schmidt, we've been living together for 10 years. We're getting engaged. We're going to marry each other. And he's still like, yeah, and my mom's friend Susan. Instead of like life partner.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. This is my grandfather and his friend Ben.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so Sam carries Frodo up the mountain, and Frodo, when they like reach a good stopping point, says, "Thank you, Sam. How far is there to go?" And Sam says, "I don't know, because I don't know where we're going."
Relatable.
So reassuring to hear as you're on the brink of death, you know?
He tries his best.
Yeah, okay, but this is also my question, sort of. So in my mind, I was like, okay, it's Mount Doom. They have to throw it in this volcano. Obviously, what do you mean you don't know where you're going? You go to the top. Like, that's where, like, the lava is and the fire. Like, that seems pretty obvious to me, Sam. And then, because, is it earlier? Because at one point it was when his, like, ring part of his brain was, like, having that conversation with him. It mentions, or he mentions something about the cracks of doom. So I guess he's like, I don't know where these cracks are, but
we'll get there eventually.
Right. Then the text throws more proper nouns at you.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Samath Nar, the Chambers of Fire.
Let me see. Oh, yeah, because this is it. Yeah, this is a full, like, long paragraph about, like, the history of this path. Oh my god, Tolkien, I don't care about this path.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be Tolkien otherwise.
The path was not put there for the purposes of Sam. He did not know it, but he was looking at Sauron's road. From Barad-dûr to the Samath Nar, the Chambers of Fire. Out from the Dark Tower's huge western gate, it came over a deep abyss by a vast bridge of iron. Then passing into the plain, it ran for a league. Between two smoking casks, literally.
That's 3 miles, by the way.
We aren't even in this part of the land, and Tolkien is describing it.
Right.
Oh my god.
That's like
and
coming to I-95 and someone being like, this starts. Just like telling you about how it came to be.
It's like, I don't care. Oh my god. Yeah, so I think I like skipped that paragraph, honestly. Because I was like, I don't care about the path. I don't care about the path. I was like, just so... This was one of the only times in my read-through of this where I have been, like, eagerly reading the chapter, being like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. What happens? What happens? What happens? Mm-hmm. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Being like, oh, let's do it. And, like, just feeling so... this, like, sense of urgency. Come on, y'all. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's do it. Let's go kill Voldemort. Because most of my other readings, I'm very aware that, like, they're not going to destroy the ring in this chapter. Like, I don't need to, get excited about it. But I was like, I don't care about the path.
What happens to the ring?
It's Tolkien, man. It's Tolkien. And as they move forward, it mentions that currently the plan is still working, that Gandalf and Aragorn and everyone is doing. The eye was not turned to them. It was gazing north to where the captains of the West stood at bay, and thither all its malice was now bent as the power moved to strike its deadly blow. But Frodo at that dreadful glimpse fell as one stricken mortally. So, in his hand, and he, like, once again reaches for the ring. So yeah, the eye, Sauron, I assume, is, not watching them, which is, the whole point. Mm-hmm. So that's good. Yeah. Everything's working. It's all going according to plan.
Just because I just counted on my page in my copy of the book, you were talking about, like, skipping through that paragraph because of how, like, tedious it was to learn about the path. Not counting the beginnings of sentences, only names and other proper nouns that are capitalized. There are 24 proper nouns on that page in my copy of the book.
So many.
That's a lot.
Tolkien just capitalizes stuff just for the fun.
He just capitalizes mountain on that page 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, he just loves it. It's his favorite thing in the world. Like, I guess, I was about to say maybe, like, his caps lock key got stuck, but, like, they didn't have caps lock on a typewriter. I'm assuming. No, he doesn't. It's not now. Okay. Frodo gets this overwhelming feeling to pull the ring, or to use the ring, and then it says, the thought came suddenly to him. He spotted us. It's all up, or it soon will be. Now, Sam Gamgee, this is the end of ends. And I was like, oh, geez, this is where they die. And We don't destroy the ring in this
They have
chapter.
their ruins smote upon the mountainside.
Honestly. So, remember how I said everything was going according to plan? A certain someone shows up and ruins all of that. And his name is Gollum. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Will you not go away ever? No one wants you here. Just leave. You can't sit with us. Just go away. Just go away. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Gollum? You know, I'm the youngest in my family, but I would imagine that this feeling I have towards Gollum of like, no one wants you here, is like very similar to how my older siblings felt whenever like I followed them around when they had friends over or something, you know?
As an oldest child, yes, that is accurate.
Yeah, like
My note for this page is gay subtext, arrow, Gollum attacks.
Oh my god. Gollum, you've ruined it.
Because it's another instance of Sam taking Frodo's hands in his, holding them
Right,
gently in
yeah.
his own and kissing them.
Yes. Oh, you're so right. Yes. Yeah, because Frodo was he was saying, stop, help me, Sam, hold my hand. I can't stop it. So they're just sitting there holding hands.
Trembling.
And Sam even kisses his hands to prevent Frodo from
then
using
here
the
comes
ring.
Gollum.
Here comes Gollum, the, cock block in the room.
Right? Wicked master. Cheats us.
Oh my god. So here comes Gollum to ruin everything. And he and Frodo have a little fight, and they're fighting over the ring, and eventually Frodo gets... Is it Frodo? Yeah, Frodo gets the upper hand, and Sam tells Frodo to move on, and he'll deal with Gollum. And... Which immediately I was like, no, you won't. You're not going to deal with him.
Sam has this
He
weird
says-
little vision.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh my god, that's right. Yes, so, as Frodo and Gollum are fighting, thank you for stopping me to go back and talk about this weird, like, cryptic vision that happened, I don't know, 600 pages ago, and Tolkien is expecting us to remember it. It's a vision of, like, two people fighting. Yeah, Sam saw these two rivals with other vision, a crouching shape, scarcely more than the shadow of a living thing, a creature now wholly ruined and defeated, yet filled with a hideous lust and rage. And before it stood stern, untouchable now by pity, a figure robed in white, but at its breast it held a wheel of fire. Out of the fire there spoke a commanding voice. Oh yeah, and then that's when Frodo was like, "F off, Gollum."
Well, that's it's probably the most loaded line in the chapter, given how this chapter ends.
Oh, that's true.
Ooh.
Begone and trouble me no more. If you touch me ever again, you shall be cast yourself into the fire of doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, I
And
didn't even catch
The
that.
implication of what Sam is saying is that Frodo isn't speaking those words. The command comes from the ring.
Ooh.
The ring tells Gollum, don't ever touch me again or you'll wind up in the fire.
Jokes on the ring.
Right?
Right?
Yeah, so this is a vision that, if I remember correctly, happened when... I think this is when, like, they're in Lothlorien and Sam looks in the mirror of Galadriel. I think this is what the vision is referring to. I can't remember, it's been a while.
Wow.
Because every now and then I'll remember that, like, oh yeah, when they were with the elves, they all got, like, Galadriel gave them, like, cryptic poems about their deaths, basically, I think.
And weird gifts.
And, like, yeah, and these gifts that have been extremely convenient, especially for Frodo and Sam with the Vial of Galadriel.
She can see the future.
Yeah, and then the Mirror of Galadriel, which... Like, I feel like I remember reading this and at the time being like, oh, a figure in white. Obviously, that's Gandalf, like, that's Gandalf come back to life. Because at that point, he was donezo. He was dead. Rip.
Rest in power, Gandalf.
Yeah, so then Frodo runs off Sam says, "At last, I can deal with you." And I was like, I want you to kill him, but I know you're not going to. Yeah, and then they start fighting, and Sam gets to a point where he could kill him. Kill him, kill him, kill him. And then he stops, and he's like, fine. "Oh, curse you, you stinking thing. Go away, be off. I don't trust you, not as far as I could kick you, but be off, or I shall hurt you, yes, with nasty, cruel steel." And I wrote this, like, whole sequence of, like, Frodo and Sam fighting with Gollum. I was just, like, chanting in my head, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. Like, let's do it. And then when he lets Gollum go, I was like, Sam, I was just coming to respect you, man. You know, we had made such progress, and not sure about it.
He's too good a person. He's got to show mercy at the end.
I know. And, like, that goes back to basically the beginning of Fellowship, when Gandalf is telling Frodo the story of the ring and Gollum, and talks about how Bilbo came to a point where he could have killed Gollum, and Frodo is like, oh, what a cowardly thing to do to not kill him, or something like that. And Gandalf is like, no, that was a very, like, brave, merciful thing to show pity for this terrible creature when you have every reason not to, basically.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang it, the moral high ground coming in again to ruin the day. Sam, yet again, you disappoint me. Okay, we're getting there, folks. We're getting there, I promise. I didn't want to, like, rush through this chapter because it's an important one, you know? So Sam finds Frodo has kind of, like, ducked into a cave of some kind, and they find that they're at the crack of doom. They're here, y'all. Dun, dun, it's happening.
At the very crack of doom.
Frodo is just standing there. I guess the way I'm imagining it is Sam walks in, and he's, like, his, like, back is to Sam, and he's, like, lit by the, like, red fires or whatever of the lava that's in the cave, and Sam is like, "Hey, buddy." "How you doing okay in there?" And he says, "Ooh, even creepier, even creepier." Then Frodo stirred and spoke with a clear voice, indeed with a voice clearer and more powerful than Sam had ever heard him use, and it rose above the throb and turmoil of Mount Doom, ringing in the roof and walls. "I have come," he said, but I do not choose now to do what I came to do. I will not do this deed. The ring is mine." And suddenly he set it on his finger, and he vanished from Sam's sight. And I was like, well, that's all right.
That's it.
I saw no way out. I was like, okay, all right, I guess we lost. Oh, crap. No. Ooh, this isn't good. Uh-oh. For a second, I was like, is Sam gonna have to, like, ooh, that could have been dark. Sam, like, was gonna push Frodo into the fight to destroy the ring. Like, you know.
A sacrifice.
Just a lot was happening all at once. And then even more starts happening because a certain someone shows up again. Oh, wait, actually, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so he puts the ring on, disappears, obviously. And then it's like across the way, I'm just imagining the camera flies over the, like, you know, fields of Mordor or whatever, and then Sauron's head just turns and looks in the direction of Mount Doom. And it's like, uh-oh, I can feel something happening over there.
What's that?
And, like, all these dark powers and everything that have, like, thus far been distracted at the gate up north all turn their attention towards Mount Doom. And it's like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. It's like once again, like, using a video game metaphor, when you're like when you're in a level that, like, requires stealth and there's, like, tons of enemies around and you're like, okay, I'm doing good. And then you, like, do something that gets you noticed and, like, every single enemy comes running over to you. And, like, the second you do the thing that gets you noticed, you're like, oh no. This isn't gonna end well. It says, at his summons, wheeling with a rending cry, in a last desperate race there flew, faster than the winds, the Nazgul, the ring wraiths, and with a storm of wings, they hurtled southwards to Mount Doom. Oh crap, y'all. They in it now. And I wrote down, well, that escalated quickly.
It really does.
Yes.
Then, once again, worst person ever shows up again. Gollum. Shows up, and I'm like, how did you even get here? But okay, whatever.
Well, Sam didn't check to see where he went. He just kept going on.
I guess that's true, yeah. He, again, didn't do a good job of, like, scolding him and scaring him off or doing anything to deter him from following them. He was literally like, hey, stop following us. And then he kept going.
Sam is a lot of things. Clever is not one of them.
Sam is a precious being.
No. This is why I will, like, to this day, I, like, will say he is a Hufflepuff.
Yes.
He's,
The
you know, and
Huffliest
that's not a dig at Hufflepuffs. You know, it's just that, like, cleverness, not his strength. Bravery and fighting, not necessarily his strength. Friendship.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing that's been pushing him forward.
Well,
Friendship and probably gay love.
Probably love.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say he saves the world with the power of love. So, like,
Love.
Whether platonic or romantic.
yeah, no, love, just capital L love.
Yeah. And so Gollum shows up. Precious, 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 Gollum cried. My precious, oh my precious. And with that, even as his eyes were lifted up to gloat on his prize, he stepped too far. Oh, wait.
You skipped him biting off Frodo's ring finger.
I skipped the biggest part. Oh my god. Yeah. So Gollum finds Frodo. I guess he can, like, sense him even though he has the ring on. And sorry, because I like highlight certain quotes to read in my book, but I don't always like remember exactly like which points I highlighted them at. Anyway. Yeah, so Gollum bites his finger off. Oh my god.
But why does he have 9 fingers?
Suddenly, Sam saw Gollum's long hands draw upwards to his mouth. His white fangs gleamed and then snapped as they bit. Frodo gave a cry, and there he was, fallen upon his knees at the chasm's edge. But Gollum, dancing like a mad thing, held aloft the ring, a finger still thrust within its circle.
Oh, you nasty.
And then he does a happy dance.
So gross.
I first missed this detail that he bit his finger off. I thought that it somehow in the fight he got the ring back, whatever. And when I finished this chapter, I immediately jumped on to read the SparkNotes summary to make sure I hadn't woefully misunderstood what happened here. And then it was like, Gollum bites Frodo's finger off, and I was like, oh, I missed that. Missed that little detail. Sam sees Gollum struggling with an invisible enemy, biting at the air viciously. Frodo suddenly reappears, his hand bleeding from his severed finger. Oh, he bit his finger off. Oh, he bit his finger off? Okay.
I saw your, on Instagram, I saw the thing where you've got the book in front of you. Gollum. Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Gollum.
Oh my god.
So he bites Frodo's finger off with and has the severed finger with the ring still on
Delightful.
it. Yum.
Out of the depths came his last wail, Precious.
Yeah, so it
And
says,
he was
yeah, so
gone.
he screams, precious, precious. And with that, this is where I stopped myself before and was like, oh, wait. And with that, even as his eyes were lifted up to gloat on his prize, he stepped too far, toppled, wavered for a moment on the brink, and then with a shriek he fell. Out of the depths came his last wail, precious, and he was gone. And at first I was like, oh, rip Gollum. And then I was like, wait a minute. Wait, did he have the ring with Yo. Wait. Did did Gollum fall with the ring on? Gollum? He... Oh. Like, my brain was, like, buffering. And I was like, he had the ring with him. He had the ring with him. Oh my god, he fell into the crack of doom and he had the ring with him. Is that how the ring is destroyed? Oh my god, is the ring destroyed? And I was like, you know what, I'll come back to that later. I gotta see what's happening here, what's going on. And, like, everything, like, blows up. Kind of Frodo and Sam run out of there. And, says, and into the heart of the storm with a cry that pierced all other sounds, tearing the clouds asunder, the Nazgul came, shooting like flaming bolts as caught in the fiery ruin of hill and sky. They crackled, withered, and went out. So that's the easiest way to deal with them. Just... Because there is that moment when, before the ring is destroyed and Gollum shows up, where they're all coming toward... It's like, well, this is... I don't know how we're going to get out of this, but I don't think we are, guys. Yeah, so the ring being destroyed these, you know, forces of evil.
Yeah, because they're all tied to the force of the ring because Sauron, like, captured their souls, basically, with, like...
With the 9 rings of power that they wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And so Frodo and Sam have, like, a moment... together on the cliff, like looking out over what I'm assuming is a not very pretty looking sunset. I just made that detail up. I don't think it's actually sunset, but whatever. Frodo says, but do you remember Gandalf's words? Even Gollum may have something yet to do. But for him, Sam, I could not have destroyed the ring. The quest would have been in vain, even at the bitter end. So let us forgive him, for the quest is achieved, and now all is over. And then definitely like, oh, this is a little gay.
Yes.
I'm glad you are here with me, here at the end of all things, Sam. The end. Except for, just kidding.
There's 6 more chapters.
Another 100 pages. I think. Let me see.
Including appendices?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like 90 pages.
Close enough.
Yeah, my copy's... This chapter ends on 225, and the last page of the story is 311.
Yeah, like 91 pages later.
He's...
Man, because we have 20 other characters to check in with.
For real.
Literally. Oh my god. Because you know Tolkien, he's not going to leave a single loose thread, you know? Mm-hmm. He's not gonna do that to us. He's not gonna let you sit there for a moment and think, I wonder where the rest of this path goes.
No, the book just ends there.
He's got it. Can you imagine if it just ended here? Honestly, I don't hate it, you know? There would be a part of me that would be like, oh, what happened to Legolas and Gimli and them? But I still don't hate it, you know? So this is when I frantically like flipped back and I had to like read all that over again to be like, did that actually happen? I was like, I don't know that it happened. I don't know that it happened. Oh my god. Did it happen? It happened. Oh my god. Oh my god, what? What? Okay, I need to reread this. No. Oh my god. Where the is my highlighter? And I like read it again and I just like wrote in all caps and I was like, oh my god! What happened? Oh my god!
That's so funny. Yeah, Gollum is the hero.
No, he's not.
So that's the thing about how the ring is destroyed, that like, man, y'all, Tolkien's good. Because there wasn't a like single part in my brain that was like, oh, maybe Gollum is going to be there when they destroy the ring and he'll have something to do with the ring being destroyed. Like there wasn't like the way that I thought this was going to go is that Sam was going to carry Frodo up the mountain. And Frodo and Sam were going to have a little fight and like Frodo was going to be nearly dying. And then in order to like save him, Sam was going to have to like take the ring and throw it into Mount Doom. And I don't know, Sauron was going to be there somehow and having a fight with them. I don't know. So, like, the fact that this was... So, like, for me, this was, like, a big plot twist that, like, Gollum just shows up. Just, like, leaps in from, like, a dark corner, is like, ah! Bites off his finger. And then, like, it's like a shocking moment. Mm-hmm. It's a good twist. However, it's also not, like, a bad twist in a way that it's not something that like you saw coming. I don't know. Like I hate when movies or books or whatever, there's a very, like, it's a very popular thing now for shows and movies and whatnot to put in a twist just because, you know? And, like, not have any, this was a very satisfying conclusion and, like, climax of the story. This was very satisfying.
Well, it's hinted at in Fellowship. Gollum's going to have something to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then you
and, like,
think
which
that's just guiding them past Shelob, and then Gollum still has more to do.
Yeah. Which, again, this is, like, once again, Tolkien being like, remember that thing I said 800 pages ago?
Well, now it happened.
It's like, no. Like, if Frodo hadn't brought that up, I would have been like, I mean, it was kind of random that Gollum did that, but okay. But, like, it's so satisfying. It's so well set up. Like, every single step of, like, just this like specifically this chapter, it's, like, it's at, like, the lowest point. You are completely out of hope. I thought that the ring would be destroyed in this chapter, but I honestly was just, like, not sure the way that things were going. I was like, oh my God, they're going to be traveling through this, like, volcanic wasteland forever and they're never going to get there and it's not going to happen. And then, like, it's all very, like, just a lot of, like, anxious feelings. And then there's, like, a sense of urgency because Frodo's getting worse and worse and he's getting more and more, like, overcome by the power of the ring. And then, like, Gollum's here. And then Frodo, like, it's just a whirlwind of stuff. And then, like, it happens.
It's over.
Man, it's over. Yeah. It's what? Like, it's done. It is. That's what I tweeted as soon as I finished the chapter. I just tweeted, "It's done," because I wanted to be, like, fun and cryptic and be like, "Hey guys,
guess what I just read."
I did have like a friend tell me, like, text me. It was like, "Wait, did you finish the book?" And I was like, "Oh Lord, no. I still got 6 more weeks of this. Don't you worry."
To only make one episode a week.
Oh yeah. I believe the last episode on Return of the King will be coming out. It's, like, mid-September.
Nice.
So, I'll probably, right now I'm really ahead in terms of my, like, recording schedule because I'm going to the beach in 2 weeks and I want to be able to, like, take that week off. So I'm trying to, like, plan ahead and stuff. So this chapter actually isn't going to come out until, like, 2 weeks from now. Yeah. So I'm, like, pretty ahead in my, like, reading schedule. Nice. So, but yeah, I was like, I wanted to, like, go talk about it with everyone, be like, guys, I know what happens. The thing that, like, I've been telling my guests not to accidentally spoil. I know it now. Like, it's okay, everyone. We can talk about it now. And then I felt like no one was as excited as I was because they're like, yeah, We've known this for like 20 years plus, you know? Like we like the movie, this happened in 2004. We know. This isn't a revelation. Oh man. So I was just, like, so excited. And again, it's just, like, weird how this aligned, like, me reading the climax of this main quest aligned with, like, my first year of the podcast.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's just, like, really weird and surreal, and what a wild ride,
because the journey
y'all.
takes, like, what, 13 months or something?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, so it's just over a year. So that actually tracks, like, really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, cause,
and, like,
because when they leave Rivendell, it's January.
There's a timetable in the back here somewhere, but I'm lazy. So
Yeah, every now and then, when it like switches from the like Aragorn story to Frodo and Sam's story, Tolkien will put in like a sentence of like, and Sam and Frodo didn't realize it, but at this moment, Pippin was watching Denethor go insane.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, that's where they are in the timeline. And then what's really wild is at the beginning of Return of the King, when Pippin meets Denethor, Denethor is like, yeah, my son's dead body washed up on our shores like 2 weeks ago or a week ago or something like that. And you're like, what? Boromir died? Like, that was 2 weeks ago? Are you kidding me? We had an entire book in between then and now. Like, that's crazy. So, Tolkien and his pacing, man. Because, like...
Well, one is all battles, so, like, the timeline gets really, really
true.
compressed. But the other one is all walking, so it gets really dilated.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny, because in, like, the first 2-3 chapters of Fellowship, like 70 years pass or something.
It's 17, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, is it 17?
Oh, I'm
okay.
sorry.
I remembered the wrong 7.
It's only
I knew there was
only
a 7 in
6
there.
months. It's September to March. Is there?
No, there's some point between when Bilbo leaves and Gandalf shows up again to tell Frodo about
that's
the ring.
17 years.
And that's like Tolkien's like just casually like, yeah, and then 17 years passed and Gandalf showed up and told Frodo, and it's like, hang on, bud, you gotta go
You've
back
just
there
been
for a
hanging out
second.
for like over 15 years.
Frodo's just been living his hobbit life, and then, just like with Bilbo, here comes this wizard to tear it all away.
To ruin it. Oh my god. Yeah, so woo! All right, we've been talking for a long time. What are y'all's thoughts? Did we miss anything in the chapter that you wanted to talk about or point out?
I don't think so. Like this one, like reading it on its own, I was like, wow, this is a really long chapter.
Yeah, it's also it's not super short.
Yeah.
But then you break it down, and it's like, well, what happens here?
Right. A lot happens. No,
Honestly,
it's a good chapter.
Let's just brush the 200 proper nouns out of the way.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, again, like, I just laugh at Tolkien with his pacing because this is I think, 17-page chapter. Like, 14 of those pages are them just walking and being tired. And then in the last 3 pages, Gollum shows up and they have a fight. Frodo puts on the ring and refuses to destroy it. Gollum gets the ring and dies with it, and all of like Sauron's forces also die.
Yep.
And like it's like you would think it's the opposite, where like you spend the 14 pages doing those things and 4 pages walking. But no, Tolkien is like, everyone's gonna wonder, what did they do on the 3rd day of this journey?
I have to name everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rock, tree, and hill.
Have you read Dracula? Because this chapter kind of reminds me of the pacing of the end of Dracula, because like the whole book spends like this all of this time ramping up and like they're gonna go kill Dracula, and literally it wraps up in like 3 pages. Like everything happens all at once, and then all the characters say goodbye, and then that's the end of the book. And I was like, what? That's ridiculous.
And then they staked him through the heart.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And then like on the other side of this, as Tolkien dedicates another 100 pages to wrapping up the other characters, you know. So there's like 895 pages leading up to this moment. 3 pages about the ring being destroyed, followed by another like 100 pages of wrap up.
I mean, one of my favorite things that's a part of this story is yet to happen.
That's true.
Ooh,
and it's something that there just has never
Yeah.
been a movie adaptation of in either form.
Oh, okay. I'm excited. Oh my god, does Tom Bombadil show up again?
I do love Tom Bombadil.
Oh,
I do love Tom
man.
Bombadil. My 2 favorite things from the books
Are absent.
are absent
Yep.
from the movie.
Can you imagine just instead of the Eagles, it's just Tom Bombadil.
Right?
He just
Just at this moment, Frodo just looks out over the
He
the
just
plains
hears
of
singing.
Gorgoroth,
Yeah.
from the door of Samathnar. Just start, hey,
Stupid red boots. And
hey, hey, doll,
Yeah, he
Mary
sees,
doll,
like, a hat.
Tom Bombadilla.
Exactly.
And then here he comes.
Exactly.
oh lord, he coming.
God.
Just traipsing up the Eisenmouth, up the river
my
in
God.
Mordor on a kayak,
That
just
would-
like
that would be
paddling
amazing.
paddling against the current on a kayak to save them.
Oh my God. Oh, Tom Bombadil. Man, what a missed opportunity for the movies. What a missed opportunity. I mean, I understand from a storytelling perspective, like why he completely derails everything,
Because he
but
does. It's a total derailment of
But, like,
everything in that
can't-
part of the story.
can't someone just make like a? I mean, the other thing though is that like, come on, guys, you already knew that these movies were going to be 3 hours long each. What's another 5 minutes? Like, whatever. Okay. Holy cow. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this chapter and the end of this episode. Cassandra and Norman, thank you so much for coming on to discuss
thanks for
this.
having us.
This was I knew it would be great. What a great chapter. What a whirlwind. What would you guys like to share with our audience?
So we are once again from the Lord of the Rings Minute podcast, where we break down the extended editions of Lord of the Rings 1 minute at a time. So if that is your cup of tea, you should check us out. We're on duelinggenre.com. We're also on Twitter at LOTR Minute.
Just as many tangents on our podcast.
Oh, so many.
As I brought to this one.
So many. We're in the back half of Return of the King.
Yep.
Yeah, which is so, yeah, I think we were talking about that before we started the episode about how, like, I'm technically ahead of you guys now,
So
which is so funny to me.
we, the week after we are recording this, we get to Éowyn defeating the Witch King. Mm-hmm. At that point, we still have
Nice.
80 minutes of movie left.
Yeah. And it's like another maybe 40 minutes until this chapter.
Holy
Yeah.
cow. Wow.
That's a lot.
And then just
Man.
40 minutes of wrap up.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, wrap up Tolkien, man. That's What I'm Talking About is a proud member of WB&E. You can learn more about the network by going to WB&E.org, where you can find other shows such as Bagels.
Hello, I'm Tyler Carlin, and I love you.
And I'm Emily Carlin, and I love you too.
And if you love someone, or you love, you should listen to our new podcast, Bagels!
We're not experts, but we sure would like to be.
And we believe the best way to get better at something is to practice.
So listen to our story as it unfolds as young parents,
As best friends,
as husband and wife.
as we explore what relationships mean to us and to those around us.
Bagels, available now at WBNE.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
The cover art is by Graphite, aka Vaishon Brandon. You can support him on Instagram at graphite.vmb. You can find the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at TolkienAboutPod. You can find me on Twitter at MCWatsup and Instagram at MCTurndownForWhat. And you can also support the podcast by becoming a patron. Go to patreon.com/TolkienAboutPod to get access to different tiers and levels of support for the podcast available for all financial situations. This week's sponsor is Mott's. Mott's, you're a cool dude. You're an amazing dude. And thank you so much for supporting the podcast. I appreciate it. Also, guys, Mott's is just like every now and then I'll just get a message from him being like, hey, you're cool and amazing. And don't forget that. And I'm like, you are just the nicest person ever. And there are more people like this in the amazing community that we have on our Discord channel, in the WB&E Discord, which is a perk on the Patreon. So I highly recommend that one. That's the $3 tier. So become a supporter of the podcast if you can. It's a 10 out of 10 would recommend situation. Okay, so this week's discussion question is going to be, tell me about your favorite, oh my God, they did it moment in fiction, in a movie or a book or whatever. Example, oh my God, I can't believe they destroyed the ring. And, oh shoot, I'll have to come back and record this later because I haven't really. This is what gets weird about when I get ahead of myself is right now I'm supposed to be saying like, oh, and a couple weeks ago the discussion question was this, and here's what some of you said. But that discussion, the episode that discussion question was asked in came out yesterday. So like, I haven't had, time to collect answers even yet. So like, man, podcast time.
Right?
Yes, hello, 'tis I, Mary Clay from the future. Like literally very far from the future at the point that we recorded this episode. It's many weeks have passed. Okay, here we are with a couple weeks ago. So the discussion question feels like 20 billion weeks ago at this point was, if you were trapped in Mordor and you and your friend got separated, what song would they sing that would magically reunite the two of you? Carissa on Twitter said 500 Miles. Excellent choice. Clark in Discord knows me well, knows I appreciate a good Rickroll, said never gonna give you up. Also, side note, fun fact, I gave a presentation on Rickrolling in my senior year of college, in which I Rickrolled the entire class. It was great. One of our resident youths in Discord, Allie, said The Tea by Danny Gonzalez. And I'm not gonna pretend to know what that song is or who this person is. And then Jason on Facebook said, somebody once told me. There we go. That's it. I was waiting the whole time. I asked this question specifically to get this answer. To be fair, I think there were a couple other people who also said that. So all of you who said All-Star, extra brownie points. All right, back to past Mary Clay from 5 years ago. When did we record this episode? Who knows anymore? All right, cool. And then also listeners, I would appreciate it if you've been listening to me for this long. Whew, God bless you. We made it to the apex, the climax of this story. And if you've enjoyed it thus far, please rate and review. I would appreciate that very much. I love reading the reviews. In particular, one that made me laugh is someone was mad because I spoiled them on something, and this was in the second or third episode where I knew nothing.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my, wow, okay then. Alrighty
why
then.
are you listening?
I was like, I didn't know it was possible for me to spoil anyone on anything related to Lord of the Rings, but okay. So yeah, if you're listening and you like it, please rate and review. All right. I'm lightheaded.
This is a long episode.
It is a
right?
long episode.
Yeah, well,
This is a long
I'm
episode for
probably
us.
just going to split it into two parts. Yeah, I'm just going to split it into two and call it a day. Because I was like, how do you do justice to the end of the main story?
Right.
You can't.
Right.
So,
You gotta comb
all right,
through it.
man. All right, all that being said, Cassandra and Norman, do you guys have any parting words for the audience?
I'm glad you're here with me at the end of all things.
Right? I can't wait. I can't wait to finally say that on our podcast.
Oh my god, I know, I'm gonna cry.
I can't wait to get there.
Because we have been going for 4 years.
Yep. We
Wow.
We already passed our 500th episode.
Yeah. So it's
cow.
it's a journey.
Right? We're gonna have
That's
600
awesome.
by the time we're done.
I don't even know, dude.
It's
Sounds right to
It's
me.
a lot. It's a lot.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow. Well, I don't know why I feel like I'm like, all right, guys, this is the last episode of That's What I'm Talking
Right?
About. But I have 600 more pages left, so. All right, I'm just going to wrap this up now. And that's what I'm talking about. Holy sh! Oh my god, y'all. It is done.